And I've been pointing out, continuously that Obama is going to renege on all of his campaign promises. Look, he said he was going to renegotiate NAFTA to protect more U.S. jobs. He said the same thing at the town meeting in Indiana today. But yet, the Buy American provisions that were put into the economic stimulus package were taken out. They added a sentence that said, we'll buy American in accordance with existing international trade agreements. Well, that means we're not going to buy American. It's a lie. My next book is going to be America for Sale. And I'm making it clear in America for Sale that there is a New World Order agenda. It does call for going to regional and then global economies and governments. And, Alex, it'll be advanced by the real powers here who are not Obama or Bush. You've got to look to the Trilateral Commission. You've got to look to the Council on Foreign Relations. You've got to look to the bankers who are controlling and manipulating the financial crises that we're in. I mean, that's where I'm focusing my attention. And I'm saying that we come out of an Obama administration, it's going to be very much weakened with the dollar gone. I don't see how the dollar is going to survive $6.5 trillion worth of borrowing in the next 2 years. We're monetizing our debt, meaning the dollar is going to be increasingly worthless. We're paying off our debt with worthless dollars. But people are going to suffer through this period of time. We've right now got 7.5% unemployment. What are we going to do when we get 10% unemployment? What if it goes to 20% unemployment? And Obama's plan, this economic stimulus plan, is not going to create jobs. It's just going to put more people on federal dependent government welfare payments.
And as the dollar's devalued and people are still getting their welfare check, but it won't buy anything, that's when the rioting breaks down. Then they use the troops to quell it. Now the precedent's been set and the public's been sold, the frightened middle class, that troops on the street's a good thing.
Well, we've always seen, the fact that this, Representative Hastings has introduced this detention camp measure on military bases, this is the first time I've seen that. I reported in 2007 that one of the former Halliburton companies, KBR, had a $375 million contract with the Department of Homeland Security to build detention centers as needed on a contingency basis. This is very different. This is the Obama administration openly saying, we're going to have detention centers for civilians on military bases. Well, what do we need those for? The only thing I can think of is that, Alex, I think you and I better get our orange jumpsuits ready. We're probably candidates number 1 and number 2 in those camps. I'm not sure which of us is going to be number 1, but we're on the list.
Well, in closing, go ahead.
And then you get economic conditions worsening, and people are going to riot. That's why I'm continuing to write about this in World Net Daily, and I'm hard at work on this America for Sale. The next book will be out in the fall.
Now, the Democrats said we were conspiracy theorists when we talked about how they wanted to bring back the Fairness Doctrine. Now we have House members, Senate members, Bill Press writing editorials in the Washington Post saying they are planning to try to have government control over programming, but now the FCC is looking at Internet control as well. They have the Violent Radicalization Act where they list all these domestic groups and say they want to restrict them. So as we deepen this tyranny, they can't have the alternative media out there pointing out what's happening. What do you see happening on that front?
Well, again, I think this whole fairness doctrine is something that you've been warning people about. We've been warning at World Net Daily. It's another one of the things that comes true. The Democrats and Republicans say, oh, no, we wouldn't do that. Now you've got, the idea that there's going to be hearings on the fairness doctrine. The left media, the Air America would have, if it had any audience, it would have succeeded. Al Franken did everything he could to get it listened to. It was boring and uninteresting. What, the globalists in Washington, Republicans and Democrats alike, don't want is an alternative media that's trying to get people listening and telling the truth, people opening their eyes and connecting the dots. Right now, this whole economic crisis, what's being offered as a solution, is not a solution. It will not create jobs. The Obama, we're going to spend nearly $1 trillion, and all we're going to do is increase welfare dependency.
Well, that's my question for you. That's my final question, because I asked it earlier, and you really didn't flesh it out because we ran into a break. What is going to happen as these tens of millions of Obama supporters, the 60-something million or whatever that voted for him, as things get worse, as they lose their job, as the government welfare check doesn't buy food for their children, as they see, now they're saying 60,000 troops aren't enough in Afghanistan. Now they're talking about 100,000. General James L. Jones, Obama's saying we're going to stay in Iraq now, basically, at least 2 years, and then look at it. I mean, are they just going to drink the Kool-Aid and say we don't care? I mean, or are they going to wake up?
Well, there's a certain proportion of Obama believers, maybe 20% of them, that are just hardcore ideologues, and they'll get hardened. You know, like Rahm Emanuel. They're ideologues. They'll rally around Obama and their leftist globalist agenda no matter what. But increasingly, you know, running for president is different than being president. Obama's going to get judged on the results. And when this trillion-dollar bailout does not create jobs, instead we've got more bank failures, you know, more trillions of dollars of assets that go bad, more jobs being lost, the American public's going to start turning on Obama. You've started to see it. Obama's not out here in a public relations campaign for no reason at all. The White House is already worried that his charm is wearing off. You know, how many smiles are we going to see? How many campaign speeches are we going to hear? The results are going to matter. And if there's not more jobs created, Obama's going to get held responsible. Not that the Republicans have any better solution. I got to hear some Republicans start to tell the truth. You know, Ron Paul did a pretty good job. Ron Paul got out there and made a major impact in the presidential campaign. We got to have more people like Ron Paul stand up in public office and oppose this globalist agenda.
Absolutely. Well, Dr. Corsi, we look forward to the new book coming out. And yes, I do need to get your paperback and get it up on the Infowars.com shopping cart that comes out next week. We do have the second edition you put out of the Late Great USA in hardcover, and it is excellent and has all the SPP documents in it. It is key for folks to get that book and get them out to people. And we'll keep reading your great columns at WorldNet Daily and also in the economic report they put out, Red Alert. Thank you so much, Dr. Corsi.
Thanks, Alex. Always a great pleasure and honor to be with you. Really appreciate it.
Great to have you. Take care. All right, there goes Dr. Jerome Corsi.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. Have you ever wondered why banks, stockbrokers, investment advisors won't talk about gold for your IRA? The financial industry refuses to recognize the value of real hard assets for your retirement. The truth be told, gold and silver has outperformed paper investments like stocks, bonds, and CDs, yet no word about IRAs. Perhaps the financial institutions want to maintain control of your assets by keeping you in paper. If you'd like to take a look at gold for your retirement, call 800-686-2237. Don't get left behind by rising inflation and low return on your paper investments. Call 800-686-2237. Make sure that you secure your future. Call 800-686-2237. That's 1-800-686-2237.